Welcome back to Spitballin Cards. In today's episode, you are so spoiled to have all five of us on here. I bet you we've had, maybe 5 or 10 total episodes ever like this. So it's fun. And the reason we're doing this is because it's basically the new year, and we want to talk about our favorite pickups of 2024. So what we're going to do is we're each going to have 5 minutes flat, and I will time you all and let you know there's 30 seconds left. And once that 5 minutes is up, we'll go to the next person, and then we want to highlight the 3 favorite cards you picked up this year. And someone else can time me to keep me honest. So we're going to do alphabetical order. So that means, Chris, you are first.
So I want to start with 2 cards that I sort of lumped together. 2 Braves cards, or at the moment, well, they were Braves cards when I got them. But these are like 2 really important PC cards for me. They're really great Braves moments. So on the left here, we've got to me, when it happened, it was the most obvious, like, Topps SSP image variation moments we were going to get all season or all year in 2024, which is Acuna standing on second base, holding up the bag. He just formed the 40-70 club. And here we are on December 16th. And as I always ask on our Blabbin channel, Jeff, where's the effing card? They just didn't make it. It just seems like the most egregious miss on Topps' part of all time. This is as close as we got to a meaningful pack-pulled Acuna card holding up second base. This came out of Topps Series 2. There's like a 40-70 subset. There's 10 cards, and they each have, I want to say, 16 total on-card autos. There's like a base to 10, a red to 5, and a super for each one. So this is card number, I believe, 10 out of 10. And this card is a 10 out of 10 for me. This is Acuna holding up the bag with an on-card auto. I have no notes. This is perfect. I saw 2 available. Over the course of the year, I had a chance at 2 of them. The first one was I tried to buy from a guy, and he gave me his PayPal, and he mistyped his PayPal. So I sent money to no one. And then in the 4 hours it took him to realize his mistake, someone hit the buy it now on eBay. And he was like, well, I don't want eBay to be mad, so I'm just going to go with that seller. And that hurt. That hurt a lot. So this was the second copy I had a chance to buy, and I did not make that mistake again. A buddy of mine, actually, a big Blabbin About Slabbin fan, ATL Jeff Black, who's also on Instagram, a good Braves fan, messaged me and said he had one, and money was more important. He wanted something else, so he was happy to sell it to me. So I love that card. Tons of personal value. It's going to stay right there in that one touch forever. The other one, Freddie Freeman, 2022 Topps Chrome. Because of the signing, I think we missed out on more image variations, like World Series stuff from the Braves winning the World Series in 2021. But this is the best one, 2022 Topps Chrome. Of course, they couldn't center it because in 2022, we make this joke a lot. We can refuel planes in midair, but we can't center a goddamn Topps Chrome card for some reason. But here's the red speckle refractor of arguably my favorite player in my favorite jersey holding the World Series trophy. You can see it says World Champions. It's spectacular. I've never seen the super. I don't want the green, so I have all the others. But if anyone ever sees that super, please send me a link, shoot it my way. Take full advantage of me if you must. But I love that card. He does. I've been told by many people he's given off a lot of Buzz from Home Alone vibes on this card, which I absolutely see. The closer Scott zooms into it, the more I see. But yeah, these 2 cards are really special to me. I feel fortunate I was able to pick these up this year.
Great cards.
Yeah.
Okay, let me pull up your other one real quick.
All right, so card number 1 is, it may be a silly purchase, but if you've heard Jeff and I talk, mostly me, I talk about 2020 Stadium Club Chrome a lot. I think it's the best set of the last, maybe of this century. I just love it. The images are great. The on-card autos are great. And I finally had a chance to pick up the Shohei Ohtani auto, and I did it. And it may have been a little bit, I don't know, aggressive of me at the time, but I had to have it. There are, as of right now, fewer than 10 at PSA of every parallel of this card, and there's 1 at SGC. So maybe there's like 20 total. There's 3 reds, there's a shimmer at SGC, and I believe 6 base autos of this card. It's his best image. It's just a really, really cool card. And to quote, who's that woman who does home organizing, and she says things spark joy?
Marie Kondo.
Yeah. Thank you. This card sparks a lot of joy in me. So when it arrived, I told my wife, I'm like, I don't know if I should have bought this, but I've had 2 chances at it. I blew the first one. There was a shimmer sitting on eBay. I think Jeff and I looked at it for about an hour and a half, and then it was gone. So I snatched it up. I told my wife, I'm like, I don't know if I should have bought this. What do you think? And she's like, wow, like, this is a really great looking baseball card. So I didn't tell her how much it cost, but She thought it was a good buy, independent of that fact. So this is definitely my personal PC pickup of the year. I effing love this card. It's of all the cards I own, this is the one I stare at the most.
I'm proud of you for not swearing there. That took a lot of effort.
It did. I've been with my family, for the last 3 days. So I'm like, I don't know, 25% bourbon right now. So the fact that I was able to edit myself was pretty good right there.
Okay. Well, good job. You came in just under 5 minutes. You did a great job there, Chris. Awesome. If you need to leave and go back to your family, you can jump off and we will not be offended. That worked out really well if you go first.
I'm okay. I'm taking the break. I'm enjoying the break right now.
So that means next up is your co-host for Blabbing About Slabbing and our good old friend Jeff. Jeff, do you want me to share or do you have them?
I will put them up and then
perfect. No
so that's good that Chris is still here because the first one I want to show is actually 2 cards that Chris and I picked up. Chris and I did not have an Aaron Judge card at all, and we've been waiting a long time, and we finally decided to bite the bullet and get one, and this is the card we chose. It's one of our favorite images of him, rookie or otherwise. Love the design on those 2017, 2018 Bowmans. They really pop. And the Ohtani card was a purchase that took a lot of time and energy and probably like 5 years off our lives to try to get that done. We made a video on our Blabbin channel about all the cards that we had to sell in a short period of time in order to come up with the funds to purchase this card. As Scott likes to talk about being cash poor and card rich, or having card equity and then deciding what you want to do with that. So getting both of these cards this year and then seeing them both with their MVP seasons, it was really a cool way to capture the year for us. Chris, do you want to say anything about these?
I just think that Aaron Judge card is just so cool. His Topps Chrome card just irritates me. We've talked about it a lot. It's like a stupid defensive image. He's jumping. It just doesn't look great. There's that fan's crotch up in the top right corner. Yeah. This card summarizes to us, like, I think more who Aaron Judge is. I know Bowman Chrome rookies aren't like super in vogue right now, but this image is great.
Am I the one who pointed that out for you and ruined that card?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Between the two of us, usually one of us will spot a crotch when the opportunity.
I was going to say, I think you would have found it eventually there.
Sounds like something Scott would do.
For sure.
Similar with Ohtani, him not having a true Bowman first. He had a Bowman card in the previous year's set for Team Japan, but this is his first Angels jersey, and it's his rookie. So him not having a first really made us want to go after one of these Bowman, what turns out to be his Bowman first autographs. And we were choosing between the hitting and the pitching image. And we just thought the hitting image is so iconic that that's the one we had to go with.
Yep, for sure.
I think you made the right choice. People still make the argument for the pitching, but I think you made the right choice.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah, pitching technically came first, I believe, right? So that's...
The longer we're out there, though, what's a matter of 3 months?
A couple months.
Exactly. Right. 20 years from now, they're just going to look at the hitting image. People are just going to look at the hitting image.
Yeah. Okay. The other 2 pickups are not baseball cards. Does this look familiar, Scotty?
It does.
Great. So I picked up this card. It's by far the oldest card I've ever held, the 1888 Duke Cigarettes. And I picked this up from Scotty B's collection. I saw when Scotty bought it, and then when I found out he's getting rid of it, I had to have it. Let me see if I can show a couple of these other pictures. The back, the color is so great on this for being such an old card, and it's not even really a card, it's a little booklet. So if you open it, it's very thin, but you can see it's got his life story in there, and it's just a really incredible piece of history. I love having it. I've gotten maybe more comments about this than any other card I've posted, just from people in real life as well. So it's just, it was my first foray into this sort of early non-sports thing, and I think it won't be the last. So very cool card.
Yeah,
Scotty.
That's a great card. I want it back now. Can you sell it to me for double?
Sure. And I was going to say that I like the fact that Scotty didn't have it slabbed because, as I mentioned, it is a booklet and you can see through it, or you can page through it, which is probably not the best for keeping it. but I like doing that, so I don't think I'm going to get it slabbed.
I do think it's cool, Jeff, because there's that 40-year-old staple holding that book together still.
Staple's still
It's
in
so
there.
cool.
Yeah.
I
You
do
wonder all the people who have held this. Okay, quickly then I will get to my last one, and that is a Giannis card that I picked up this year. I don't collect many basketball cards. I used to have this a version of this card that was just the base version, and let me see if I can show his auto.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's a full auto.
It's
nice.
his full auto, which he signed really only in his rookie year, a couple into the next season. But I understand with a name like Giannis Antetokounmpo, you're going to want to shorten it, which he did substantially after this. But this card is a PSA 10, which is really cool because these thick cards are hard to get that good a grade on, and it is Pop 3. And it's not a game-worn jersey because this was before he even played games, but it is a player-worn jersey. So I have that going for me, but I really got it because of the auto. He doesn't have a lot of on-card autos in his rookie year. Even the big products like Prism are not on card. So it was fun to get a full on-card rookie auto, and I expect him to be contending for another MVP this year. So
awesome. Great job. Right at 5 minutes. You guys are doing great. Okay.
All
right, Phil.
While we're waiting, I just want to say it's cool. I get Giannis shortening his signature. It totally makes sense. Jackson Merrill, no excuse. Continue.
Very well said, Chris. All right, Phil, you're up.
So this one here, it's not baseball, but it is football. And Patrick Mahomes, I kind of like the guy. I like the way he plays. I like the way he wins, most importantly. And this is going to really start to deviate away from the whole sentimental sort of tone that the rest of the guys have had so far. But he's a bet on football. Football is a popular sport. There's a lot of money right now being put into younger quarterbacks that debuted in 2020 and later. You can even go back to 2018, although Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are having great seasons. But I just think there's going to be at some point some rotation to safety, a flight to safety, if you will. We've seen it in baseball 5-6 years ago with Mike Trout, even 4 years ago potentially. There's going to be collectors that are getting burnt on prospects, on younger, underachieving quarterbacks. Maybe CJ Stroud, add him to the list as the latest there. And Patrick Mahomes, he's a good dude. He's probably not going to end up in jail. He's surrounded by a lot of controversy and drama based on his situation, but he just wins. And this year, maybe the team's fool's gold a little bit, but 3 Super Bowl victories. I actually picked this one up in January, and to be honest, I wasn't even expecting them to win the Super Bowl, but then they did. I think I picked it up right before the AFC Championship Series. So he won that game as well as the Super Bowl, and that's gravy on top or cherry on top or whatever. Good job, Phil. And this one particularly, I wanted a card that was a color match and an on-card auto, something that stands out a little bit from the rest of his autographs. And yeah, I could have gone down the path of like one of the RPAs, but I'm just not very familiar with that market. And because I'm a Bowman Chrome auto guy, this one was a little bit more of a natural transition for me.
All right, hold on, Phil. One, as a guy who collected in the 80s, I love that rated rookie. Yeah, I think that's really cool to see. But 2, be completely honest. Did you know who he was before Taylor Swift started dating his teammate?
No, I did not. Next card, please. Yeah. And that one's numbered to 50, I think, or 49 or something. Yeah, this one here, talked about it in a recent episode. I think Scott's talked about it in a few videos, and some of those he didn't even know that I own the card yet. This one checks off all the boxes. It's very unique. The theme of 2024 for me, I guess, is heterogeneity because it's so unique and different. It stands out from a lot of the other patches with the team logo there. The hitting pose that separates it from a lot of the other Dynasty cards as well. It's got a clean autograph. It's a number to 5, and it's numbered 1 of 5 if that matters. Just a really sweet card. I was trying to I kind of feel like a fraud being a baseball first guy and not owning a big card of the number 1 player in baseball. And that's the way I felt.
Shot at me, Phil? Yeah. Was that a shot?
Yeah, a little bit. It is a little bit. And I bought a Mike Trout card just because I have to own like a piece of baseball. And Mike Trout is baseball. He was at the time. Didn't work out that well, but I ended up selling it at a good time and made some money, and whatever, we move on. Then I lost money on the rest of the Trout cards that I held on to, or some of them anyways. But yeah, Ohtani, do we really need to say anything about him? I mean, he's a GOAT, GOAT, the GOAT, or he's a nothing based on what some of our commenters will say, I'm sure. And then in the last card.
Ooh.
All right, so I've got some of his Tiffany cards already, and I'm like, I need to increase my Barry Bonds exposure in my inventory. I mean, collection. And I was like, another Tiffany card. I don't know. I don't know if I need to add another one. So what's something that's unique? I'm a little bit scared about the 90s market because I'm not that familiar with it. I don't really have the knowledge. I'm worried a little bit about manipulation, stuff like that. So what's the next closest thing to the 90s market? Well, maybe 1989, but yeah, year 2000. So this is a card that I, as well as many other Bonds collectors, didn't know existed. And this is one of his only pack-pulled one-of-one autographs that exists from his playing days. I actually picked this one up in the same auction as the Ohtani. And, Ken Griffey Jr., Teapots made the point in a previous episode that Griffey collectors don't also collect bonds. So it's not like you're going to get them to cross over. But 50 years from now, what's going to matter more? The bubblegum, the backwards hat, and the buoyant personality of Griffey, or the numbers? And maybe it's still Griffey, and that's cool. And the biggest edge he has on him is he was everybody's favorite player in the 90s. That includes me, though, and I made the switch. So I just think stats are everything, especially when you have the best stats, arguably, of all time. For my thesis to pan out, does he need to be in the Hall of Fame? No. Actually, I kind of hope he doesn't, because at this point, he's turning every year. He's evolving into less of a villain and turning into more of a scapegoat. Keep him out of the Hall of Fame. He'll be more of a scapegoat. Guys can hold value outside of the Hall of Fame. We're seeing it already with Bonds. We saw it with Pete Rose. He's prolific. He's the benchmark every year. This year, Judge. Okay, well, what did Barry Bonds do in year 2003, 2002? Bonds is always going to be the benchmark for other players' success in any given year. And because of that, he'll stay relevant, whether people like it or not. And the Hall of Fame is becoming more of a joke as time goes on. Whenever I apologize if I offend people, but whenever a Jeff Bagwell or a Ivan Rodriguez or a David Ortiz, I'm a Red Sox fan, the more guys like that get into the Hall of Fame, Pujols will be a first ballot. Beltre got in. Again, I don't want to piss people off, but it's perception's reality, and the Hall of Fame is becoming more and more of an arbitrary joke as time goes on, and that helps Bonds. Okay, I know I went over my 5 minutes. Sorry.
Imagine a hall of the best baseball players ever, and Billy Wagner might be in there, and Barry Bonds won't. How does this?
No Bonds and Clemens, but Billy Wagner and Harold Baines.
And Bonds is a lot cheaper than Griffey, by the way. I think he's about half if you look at their comparable cards. So he doesn't need to be worth more than Griffey. He just needs to close that spread a little bit.
Yep.
Chris, maybe people just shouldn't cheat.
Do you know for a fact Billy Wagner didn't cheat?
No, but I know for a fact Bonds did cheat.
I think all relievers cheat.
Yeah, I agree. Just by existing.
I agree with Phil's thesis. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah. I just want to say really quick that Dynasty Ohtani is when Phil first posted that card, I started sweating. That is a sexy ass baseball card.
I was on that card and Phil beat me out way before it ended. I thought I had a chance and I did not have a chance.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So I do try to buy Ohtani. It's just I'm poor compared to Phil.
Aren't we
fair?
all?
Aren't we all? All right. Let's jump into this. First card. Let me get everything pulled up. I'm going to have 2 honorable mentions, and I'll be very quick on them because while they're really great, I don't think they're the best cards I picked up this year, if that makes sense. This one I just bought. This is a brand new one. People may not know. I know I haven't shared my screen yet, but this one is a Francisco Lindor card. This is the Chief Wahoo patch. I think it's just super unique. The autograph does have a little bit of smudging, but a lot of them did from that era. But I love the Chief Wahoo patch. I love that it's one of his best rookie cards ever made. And I think there's a bigger story behind Dynasty and the patch itself. So I love this card, but I'm not going to go much deeper than that. Cool card. So that's one of my...
like a tooth match between the Lindor picture. His teeth are out, and then you got the Wahoo teeth. I just noticed that.
I thought the same thing. It's pretty funny. And he's Mr. Smile, so it fits well. Second card is this one right here. This is a Paul Goldschmidt. This is honorable mention. The reason I'm honorable mentioning it is just because while I love it, people always tell me how stupid I am for buying this card, which I don't understand when it's like, collect what you like. Unless you're Scott Baldwin, then don't buy an Otani. But this is a card I love. Hall of Famer, red out of 5, one of my favorite players of all time. Love the guy. So that is my honorable mention number 2. And now we're going to get into my top 3. One of my top 3 is this card right here. Are you still seeing my screen?
Yep.
We see your dashboard.
Great. So it's this card. This card I didn't know existed until this year. And I have no idea if this card's ever going to go much higher. But regardless, it just feels great owning a piece of history. And it could go way higher. I don't know what's going to happen with it. But this is a Hank Aaron Willie Mays dual autograph. These two players only have 3 cards ever signed together. And this is their first one. I love how it calls out Hall of Famers, outfielders, World Series winners, National League All-Stars, MVPs. Like, it has all their accolades called out on the card. I just think it's awesome. And these cards are hard to find blue. And I say like the actual, like it was signed yesterday. The Hank has some inconsistencies. You can see here he kind of has a thin auto here, but that's just an old man Hank. But it's nice to see a blue bold autograph. And so the longer time goes on, I think this card, even though there's probably 100 to 200 of them, there's only going to be a handful with a good autograph. So it's a card I've always liked ever since I saw it, and I had to get one eventually. So that is my first card. My next card is going to be coming shortly. It's this one. And I talked about this way too much, but this is the Aaron Judge Logo Man rookie autograph. His only game used Logo Man rookie autograph, 1 of 1. Aaron Judge, I know we're comparing him to Barry Bonds. If we exclude Bonds due to steroids, this is a great one just because he's probably one of the best hitters we've seen in the last like 70, 50, 80 years. And so this Judge is one that I think is going to have a great life. You guys I'm seeing your troll comments over here. Edit this out, Phil.
Oh, don't.
Gotta close my chat. I'm getting distracted. But I do feel like this one's going to have a lot of potential runway if Judge can continue to be Judge and maybe have one good postseason like Bonds did. Bonds was the same way, had a bad postseason career until he didn't. And I think that's the same thing here. Good players, the more chances they have, the better they're going to be. And he's actually on pace at his current rates for like almost 50 home runs in the postseason. It's just he needs to learn to hit other balls besides home runs. And then my number 1, give me 1 second, is going to be a Larry Walker card, surprisingly. And this is the Gem Masters 1 of 1. This card, Gem Masters, I didn't know a bunch about them until the last few years, but they're essentially the best card of a specific player from this era. And so to be able to track this down, even though it hadn't been seen for 2 decades, since 1999, forgive me, and then it appeared randomly in a shop in St. Louis, I was able to drive and pick it up. It was the most fun I've had with the card in a long time. So those are my top pickups of the year. It's nice to have a Gem Master. I think they're a fun little piece of history to own.
Beautiful.
All right. And lastly, Ty.
All right.
Let's hear your top 3.
Sometimes you save the best for last, and sometimes you save Scooble. So I'll share some of my faves. This one would be honorable mention. This is Grant Hill high voltage 500 volts. This is actually not my copy. I got this in a 7, so even a little bit cheaper. But these are pretty tough to track down. Not ultra tough, but they're really cool in hand. This is not Grant Hill, but I found this one on Instagram, and you can kind of see he's just do that old school 90s dancing. Really cool effect, kind of a warped, almost like the new lava parallels, but with this kind of fractured glass in the background. So this was one on my list, probably on my like top 10 want list of Grant Hill cards. And I tracked one down earlier this year. All right. Next is this Tarek Skubal, not Scooball like Screwball, but Scooble, just for the record for everybody in the universe. Tarek Skubal is how you say his name. And I got this earlier this year. One of our connections on Instagram in a little baseball card chat connected me with a guy who had this. He had pack pulled it a few years ago, and I wanted to get some nice Scoobles before the season started, and he obviously didn't disappoint. I wish I were a sports bettor or had a way to bet legally in Georgia, because I would have put some money on Skubal before the season to win the Cy Young. This was me being conservative, but he obviously had a really, really good season, and the Tigers had a magical finish to the season that, just ultimately came up short. But this one's really cool. I was really happy to pick up one that's obviously pretty rare.
T-Pod, it's cool that Instagram dates that too. So you can see that you said top 5 Cy Young voting 2024, and it's March 12th.
Yeah.
So like you were way ahead on Skubal. So good job.
Yeah, I really thought he was going to win it this year, or at least had a good shot, and he just didn't disappoint. He's awesome. He's a lot of fun to watch. So we talked about Dynasty and Definitive and other high-end sets recently, and I really like Dynasty a lot, but this one is just really cool looking. The patch in it is awesome. It's a vertical card, nice on-card auto, and I don't remember. Scott, did you send me this one on eBay?
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah, and this was one that I insta purchased. Like
it's 5-star. Is that what it is?
Yeah, this is 5-star. And it's really cool in hand. I do have a Smoltz Dynasty, but the patch in it isn't as impressive. Not to say that some dynasties don't have really cool ones, but this foil on it is really nice. Just a really, really cool looking card. So I was really happy to pick that one.
It looks like it says game used on their tie. Is that correct?
It's in fact game used. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sure we're going to talk about the change to that verbiage soon. But game used. Just a really cool card, honestly, all around. Next, this was a big one. This is a card that I saw come into Cards HQ, and at first I was like, oh man, I wish I could buy that. And then I was like, wait, I can. So I just went and bought it. It did sit on the shelf for a few days. And then after I made the purchase, Ryan from Cards HQ told me that another guy had told him he was going to buy it on the weekend. So I kind of just beat him to it. I didn't know that at the time, but this is Essential Credentials, 1997-98 Skybox EX 2000 Essential Credentials. This is numbered to 80. So this set was really interesting. Those who watched our 90s video that we did, 3-4 months ago, may remember this one's unique in that there's this sort of like purplish pink, fuchsia, whatever color that is, in red. And then there's also like a green and yellow type one. And the way they did it is the numbering on the back of the card, so like the actual number of the card on the checklist, resulted in one of the cards being serial numbered to that number, and then the other one being serial numbered the opposite, like subtracting the math on the checklist. So there are exactly 2 one-of-ones from this product for different players, where they were cards like number 1 and number 88 or something at the end. But this is a really cool one, and I have this it's just a BGS 5. It looks really nice. There's just like a gouge on Grant Hill's kind of like jawline that's like almost imperceivable unless you hold it in a certain right light. So it looks pretty sharp in hand. And then this is the last one. And let me actually try to punch out on this one a little bit.
30 seconds, Ty. You're doing great.
The recent pickup, Ultra Stars Gold, another really popular insert set from the 90s. And this one is Total Pop 37. 2 9s, 2 10s. So these are about one every 14, 16 months sells on eBay, or online. So, and the last thing I'll show, because everybody asks about this, since I've got my cards displayed, if you want these acrylic shelves that I have set up, no affiliate links, I guess, but just type in acrylic shelves on Amazon and you will find all kinds of great offerings to display all of your favorite pickups of the year.
All right.
I'm going to use my affiliate link, Ty.
Please do.
Okay. Well, that's it for all of our pickups this year. Thank you for watching. Let us know in the comments down below what your favorite pickup this year was. And other than that, we will see you in the next video.